And welcome to the MBS Show Reviews. I am James Cork, and with me is...
Norman Sanzo. Yay!
Norman, a week of delay. Oh my god.
What happened, man? What happened?
The flu happened. I think I got cursed after all those things, nasty, mean things that I said about the Brony analysts. Like, oh no, how dare you say those things? We're going to... A curse on all your houses. A curse on your house, a curse on your house, and a curse on your house. So I think it hit me, and I was pretty much speechless for a couple of days. And even right now, I'm not entirely on there. Maybe you can feel the tingle on my throat.
You do sound a bit hoarse. Maybe you need a glass of water?
Kill me. Your fans are going to kill me one day. I have to clarify, though. Mm-hmm. I think I kind of owe you, all of you guys, an explanation as to why I did that last week and why I decided to do a call-out on the Brony analyst community. The situation was getting out of control, and to be honest with you, it's still far away from being under control. When people spout and say mean things about an episode, especially if you do it on the internet, you are not spreading your opinion. If you're doing it that way, you're spreading a lot of negativity. And negativity only brings negativity. I'm not going to blame you all for this. We have had this kind of attitude from the very beginning of the fandom. But Megan, Sipsy, Jason, and everyone else, they got a couple of death threats after the episode that was premiered a couple of weeks ago. 3 is a crowd. And I have the feeling that those death threats were motivated by the rampant negative attitude of the Brony analyst community. I'm not blaming you directly, but I have the feeling that if we don't slow down and we provide a more positive tone to our reviews, things are going to get nasty. Like I said, Season 5 seems to be is going to be the last season of this show if we don't start looking at things in a more positive way. And that's why I did my rant. I am getting sick and tired of their way of acting. I want them to change their ways, and this is a small podcast to say it. I am in the smallest soapbox in the middle of a crowd where everybody is standing on a soapbox bigger than mine.
Yeah, that's true, and it's sad to hear that the show creators are getting death threats, because that's not cool. They do the show because they're getting paid by Hasbro to do it, and it's technically not their fault. Hasbro mandates them to do something, and they had to do it. It's not fair you blame them. If you guys want them to create so awesome shows like Pinkie Pie becoming Super Saiyan and flying through the air, defeating Frieza, that's not their forte, and they can't do it. But still, be thankful for what we get.
And not only they do it because they get paid, because that is the easy excuse. That is the economic motivation. But they also do it because it's a lot of fun. They enjoy doing the show. They enjoy telling these stories. They love these characters. The amount of time and effort they put onto this show doesn't come just from the economic compensation. They do it because they love it. Or else they wouldn't be here. Believe me, when you work on a show or when you work on something, when you do it with so much passion and get such a positive and good result,
it shows.
Yeah, a big motivation is that you love doing it, not just because you love getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In the end, getting paid is a nice addition to what it is to create a universe with its own set of rules, with its own characters, its mythology, everything. And these people are doing it. I'm pretty sure Tolkien loved getting paid for his novels, but I bet that he was happier for creating a world full of fantasy. This is absolutely the same. And I am not comparing MLP with Lord of the Rings, although it's very easy to compare it.
It's true.
Fluttershy is basically a hobbit. All the way down to the design of the house. That is a hobbit house, okay? But the best example that I can put forward, that these people are doing something that could be considered artwork. What they do is art, and it's good art.
That is true.
So the last thing they need is to have a snobbish critic coming at them and saying, this is so definitely not worth my time. Because that's exactly how you're coming across. And this makes it 2 for 2 of episode reviews that James has started talking about how sick and tired he is of the Brony analysts' attitudes. And you know what? Until they stop it, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stop it in this show. That's for sure. I'm not going to bring it up again. But oh my God, my streams are going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, they do hard work. They love what they do. Last week, when we interviewed Amy Keating Rogers, talking to her, I get that feel like she's cheerful, she's happy, how do I put this? She is her episode. Whenever we talk to her, it reflects to what she says. Like, her episode is happy. She is happy. I feel like every moment talking to her, it was fun. And it reflects onto her work.
You know what? I love the way you put it. That she is her episode. Because you are so right. She is her episodes. She's happy. She's fun. She's so easy to talk to. And oh my God. You put it better than anybody else could.
Well, thank you. I did feel that way. And looking at today's episode, well, last week's episode, today's review, Pinky Pride, I feel it. Like, I was happy. And talking about Amy Keating Rogers and Pinky Pride, I think we should review it.
Yeah, I agree. We should get to the episode already. We've made these wonderful people wait long enough. So, okay, let's review Pinky Pride. Well, as usual, I think we should make a bit of a preview on this episode. It's no surprise for anyone that this episode was promoted everywhere, like weeks in advance of this episode coming out. The Hub was promoting it. Their Facebook page was talking about it. There were tweets about it. There were preview clips. There was a preview clip of this episode. I think it was released in 2013.
Oh my, really no?
Yeah, like this episode was premiered when Rarity Takes Manhattan had yet to be released. Like, they were really excited for this episode. They really wanted to be a success. And with no surprise, because this episode features none other than definitely the absolute best parody musician in the world.
Oh, indeed.
And that is Weird Al Yankovic. And Weird Al Yankovic has been desired by the fans of this show from 2011. Ever since 2011, there's been posts on Equestria Daily, there's been posts on the original Pony Voodoo, on DeviantArt, Facebook, everywhere, saying, oh my God, we need Weird Al Yankovic in this show. We need Weird Al Yankovic to appear in this show. He has to be in it. And lo and behold, I think it's Stephen Andrews or...
Will Anderson,
who is one of the composers for My Little Pony. He used to be in Weird Al Yankovic's band. And he's friends with Weird Al Yankovic. And in 2012, Weird Al expressed his interest on being on the show and being a pony in the show. And the fans were like, wouldn't that be awesome? If only it could happen. Now, fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, bam, Weird Al Yankovic is in the show.
Fun fact, Amy Keating Rogers told us that the script was finished in August 2012, right?
Yeah, this one was actually written even before she moved on to work for Care Bears. Because if you remember, between seasons 2 and 4, while season 3 was premiering, Amy Keating Rogers was working on Care Bears as a story editor. So that's why she didn't work on My Little Pony in season 3 of My Little Pony. But she returned in season 4, and apparently this is also an episode that features a story written by Jason Thiessen.
Wow, that is a while back.
But Jason Thiessen is not known for writing. He is the director of the show. He has been directing ponies since the very first episode, but she never wrote anything for it. So it's like, So he did write the story for this episode, which is kind of cool. I mean, we knew that Amy was doing the writing, but I had no idea who was doing the story.
Yeah, then we know it was Jason Thiessen. And if I'm not mistaken, Jason Thiessen is not working on Ponies anymore, right?
No, the one who's not working on Ponies anymore is James Wooty Wooten.
Oh, okay.
Jason Thiessen is still working on all of season 4. He's been going for he's going for broke. He's doing the entire series. His brain is full of pony.
Awesome. No, but still, fun fact. William Anderson did not did the background music for this episode. The background music was done by Daniel Ingram and Stefan Andrews, and that was kind of amazing and strange at the same time. But still, I do appreciate it where William Anderson gave chance to the new blood to create something new for the show. Because if you didn't know, all of the background music was done by William Anderson in all seasons except for this one episode.
Yeah, and Stefan Andrews has been a background composer, and he's been taking care of the background music, but he's never been he's never composed he's never been credited as doing an entire episode. That is true. So giving him the spotlight, that was also really good. Okay, we are getting ahead of ourselves. We are talking about the episode without even saying what we thought of it. Although, it's kind of stupid to say, what we thought of this episode. What did we say about this episode? Okay, you already know this review is going to be absolutely positive, but that's the thing, is that I haven't seen a single negative thing said about this episode.
Well, I do have one nitpick too.
No. You don't get it. You don't get it.
Right.
Is that this episode hasn't got a single negative review. There's people that have gripes with the episode. I too have gripes with the episode. Oh God, I'm going to talk about my gripes with it, but they are so minute. They are so tiny that they are completely meaningless. This is a type of episode that it's like a universal truth of this TV show, okay? There are episodes that you cannot hate. There are episodes that you are forbidden to hate. And they happen to everybody, and everybody agrees on this, okay? Everybody. There are episodes that you may be divided whether you like it or not. Basically, all of Season 3 is like that. Season 3 is either you like it or you don't like it. That's about it. But there are episodes that everybody loves, like Winter Wrap-Up, like A Friend Indeed, like
Sonic
Luna Eclipsed, Sonic Rainboom, Cutie Mark Chronicles. Those are episodes that everybody loves.
Even with all the problems.
Even with the problems that they have, even with the issues that they may have, they are so strong, they are so powerful that nobody can hate them. Not a single negative review for those episodes. And Pinkie Pride is one of those.
Yeah, we may have gripes or nitpicks to talk about it, but you know what? They're so minute that it doesn't detract from what we feel overall for the episode. But anyway, James, let's start reviewing this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a good idea. Let's start reviewing this. So the episode starts introducing this new character. That's Cheese Sandwich, who just got done making a party in the middle of Appaloosa. And I have to say, it was really cool to see the settler ponies and the buffalo having a party and getting along nicely with each other.
True.
That was cool. You could see Sheriff Silverstar and Brayburn.
Really? Brayburn was there?
Yeah, Brayburn was there. If you see the start of the episode, you can see Brayburn and Sheriff Silverstar dancing with Chief Thunderhoofs and what was the other buffalo girl?
I don't remember. But Brayburn was there, really?
Yeah. Brayburn was there. You can go back and check it out. So as Cheese Sandwich is leaving, his entire body shakes from head to hoof, and he's like, "Oh wow, that's a doozy. I guess the next party town is going to be Ponyville." Very Fistful of Dollars feel right from the get-go, which is kind of funny. So then we cut to Ponyville, and we see Pinkie Pie is preparing a preparing a birthday party, but it's not just a birthday party, it's a birthday anniversary party, and she does all of this in the middle of a song. And right away, that sets the tone for the entire episode, because this has a very similar formula, very similar structure to Magic Mystery Cure. Mm-hmm. The all well known for how controversial it was season 3 finale. And it's a very nice song. I mean, it's a Pinkie Pie song, it's happy, it's upbeat. She gathers basically the entire town, and all she's doing is painting a banner. I mean, she makes a spectacle of painting a banner. Can you imagine, like me being an artist, I am like, wake up in the morning, I go to get my tablet, I'm painting with Photoshop. But it's that kind of tone. It's like, yeah, if the episode is going to go this way, then it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. And I do like the whole scene, the whole introduction. And we forget to mention this. This episode is a musical. They try in season 3 with what you mentioned, Magical Mystery Cures. And they're doing it here. And I feel that the execution for a musical in this episode, they done it well.
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with you. I like the season 3 finale a lot. I love it. I absolutely adore that episode. It's so filled with emotion and feels, and my God, the songs are all catchy, and it has such an upbeat, positive ending, and all that. But when it comes to the musical structure, this episode works a lot better than Magical Mystery Cure. And I know comparisons are disgusting, but everything has to be said. And in that regard, it has a much better structure than that one episode, which is good. That's a good thing. You have to improve on what you have. If your new thing is better than your old thing, that means you're doing it right.
That's true. So, moving on, after Pinkie Pie paints her wonderful banner, the whole crowd seems to be into it, and everybody seems to like it. Here is where things got really interesting. Pinkie Pie made a pinky promise to Rainbow Dash to make this party the best party she ever had, because it's a birthday anniversary, and the anniversary part is the first time she came to Ponyville. If you look carefully at the whole scene, Pinkie Pie is doing her pinky promise without saying the phrase. She's just doing it. And then what happened next, James?
But it doesn't serve her too much to do the pinky promise, because then Cheese Sandwich shows up, and he's standing there. Instead of a cigarette, he has, like, what did you call that? Gazoo?
Soundmaker, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. We call them a different thing in my country that is absolutely inappropriate when you say it in English. I'm going to leave that to your imagination. I'm pretty sure that it has a name or whatever. And then he's like, okay, hey, Party Pony, I'm going to make this the biggest party ever. And Pinkie Pie is like, ooh, we combine forces, we can do it. And then Cheese is like, oh, I don't think so. I know so. And then he starts singing.
This song is just awesome.
This song is perfect.
This song is really amazing. It has that, I don't know how to say it, but it has a really catchy tune.
It has that weird old Jankovic tune that all of his songs have. But, okay, and this is a constant that keeps going on with the episode, is that it does feel like the songs have been composed by Weird Al Yankovic, but they were not. If you check the credits later, half of the songs are written by Amy Keating Rogers and the other half are written by Daniel Ingram. None of them feature Weird Al Yankovic as the composer. He is the singer, but it's really cool because I don't know if we asked this to Amy or if she answered this, but she completely captured the feel and tone of Weird Al Yankovic's style of singing, composing, and hell, even the metric, all the way down to the metric. You can put this song between a hardware store and Stuck in the Drive-Thru, and people will not be confused.
No, I think we did ask her about the episode, but from what she said, she wrote it in the sense where I'm writing a character called Cheese Sandwich, and I did not think about who was playing it. She kind of knew it was Weird Al, so okay, but still, the character is Cheese Sandwich. It's not Weird Al playing Cheese Sandwich.
Poor Cheese Sandwich.
But still, he is awesome. He is awesome. And the song goes on, and it's just awesome. I got no idea. I got no complaint about the song. This song is just awesome.
So then, right after the song ends, we leave poor Pinkie Pie right in the dust because every other pony in Ponyville is interested on the new upcoming pony, which is Cheese Sandwich. And oh my God, he's so much fun, and he's preparing the party, and it's going to be like amazingly epic and huge. This is like a huge Hefner level kind of party. Okay, all that's left is having the
bunnies.
Exactly. So, and they're having so much fun organizing everything. And in the meantime, Pinkie Pie is all sad in Sugar Cube Corner, saying, "Oh my God, I'm forever alone." But then Twilight shows up, and she's like, "Hey, Pinkie, aren't you going to help out Cheese Sandwich organize everything?" And Pinkie is like, "No, busy here watering the drain pipe."
Drain pipe. That was a joke.
Then she's so sad that she breaks into another song, and this song is. It starts as soul-crushingly depressing, and then it weirdly becomes surprisingly optimistic and positive. So it's like it's a very mixed feeling kind of song. It's good. It's really good. It can get you the feels instantly.
Oh yeah.
But it is a very, very heavy contrast. Although it's done very well, I can understand why it might throw some people for a loop.
Yeah, and fun fact: during the construction scene, that was not written in by Amy. This was added in by the animators. The original scene was supposed to be Pinkie Pie selling apple pies at the Apple store, and Soren came in and wanted to buy a pie. Instead of selling the pie, Pinkie Pie slams the pie in her face just to be funny, and Soren was sad.
Yeah, and I didn't mention that during the song you can see Pinkie Pie trying other jobs, like trying to work on a surgeon, delivering letters, working as a construction pony, and none of them work out because her true calling is parties. So this is her basically quitting and leaving everything away. She puts away the party cannon, she deflates the balloons. Oh God, that was so sad. That was so sad. Oh my God. Yes, it is ridiculous. I know. It's a cartoon. Yes. But the image of Pinkie Pie hugging the balloon until the balloon deflates, no, okay? That's not right.
Yeah.
That is not right. You are not, no. Too many feels in one single scene. You are killing me, show. You are killing me. You're tearing me apart, Pinkie.
But I have to say, when Pinkie gets excited or gets positive again, it was an awesome scene.
It is a really good scene because you can see her going through memory lane, which, to be honest, is exactly what people do when they are depressed. They look back on the past, saying, "Oh my God, look at all these times. They were so much better," and they usually don't recover. But Pinkie Pie does. She looks at the past and she's like, "No, if I'm going to go, I'm gonna go with a bang. I'm not going to let this guy take my position." So she takes her streamer, she dresses up like she dressed up in Dragon Shy, which, by the way, nice shout out, and she goes to confront Cheese Sandwich to a goof off.
Yeah, and starting the goof off, Derpy here, chocolate fountain, so cute.
Derpy was quite primordially featured in this episode. She was actually it's kind of funny. I cannot believe nobody noticed this, but the scene where she's with the chocolate fountain, she is in the foreground, and the ones that are in the background are Applejack and Rarity.
Wow, I did not notice that. I just noticed Derpy fountain. She is doing basically what every kid wants to do at a chocolate fountain, and I don't blame her.
To be honest, one of my childhood dreams was to get my head inside one of those chocolate fountains.
But anyway, after that whole cute scene, Pinkie Pie appears in her funny get-up and is going to challenge Cheese Sandwich to a goof-off.
You know, I find it particularly funny how Fluttershy is like, "Oh no, not a goof-off!" And then Applejack is like, "What's a goof-off?" And Fluttershy is like, "I have no idea." That was actually really funny. That's comedic timing that only Amy Keating Rogers can come up with in her writing.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy do know each other because of how they interact. Maybe Fluttershy would know, but nope, I got no idea.
It is very funny how Amy says that she's best at writing Pinkie Pie, but she's also really good when it comes to writing for Fluttershy.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to see next week, because next week is one of her episodes too. But moving on.
Yeah, and it also stars Fluttershy. Oh my god, that's going to be fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Cheese Sandwich takes on the challenge because he, unlike his rubber chicken, he is not boneless.
Yeah, I have to say the whole scene with the faces, it's awesome. I like what they're doing here. They're trying something new and they're trying something brave. Like Pinkie Pie's angry face, the whole Pinkie Pie is talking to Cheese like, so are you Cheese or are you boneless? Like that whole scene, that whole face setup, it's really good.
I don't know if you guys remember what I said on my review of Flight to the Finish, but when Miss Harshwin is talking, and she's talking about the Equestria Games and all that, the way she's moving her mouth and the way she's animated, it's more distracting than it is compelling, because I'm not listening to what she's saying, I'm looking at her weird faces. That's not fun. However, with the way Pinkie Pie is acting here, I'm not looking at the face, I'm looking at the whole performance, because that fits Pinkie perfectly. So in that regard, that was really cool. And that was very well done. And that was very well in character, both the writing and both the animation. That was cool. That was Flash done well. And also, these guys at DHX, they have figured out the formula to take all the potential out of Flash. This doesn't look like Flash animation anymore, okay? It looks like hand-drawn animation. It's on the same level as something produced by the Disney Channel. It's unbelievably good.
I can just say that they're going beyond the limit.
There is going to be a point where they are going to break Crash.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the goof-off starts, and the judge of the goof-off has to be none other than Rainbow Dash, because, of course, she's the birthday girl. She has to be the judge and say, okay, let's see who is the best at this.
Yep, and before that, Twilight has a book on a goof-off. And apparently, Twilight has a lot of rule books.
You know what? That moment had me laughing, but for something completely personal, because she pulls out the book, and I'm like, wait a minute, she has a book about goof-offs, and then Rainbow Dash immediately she goes, she has a rule book about goof-offs, and I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect. It really had me rolling on the floor. I was like, oh my god, that's okay. That's the funniest. That's the funniest. Ha ha ha! That's the funniest. I'm a fool. But anyway, and of course the goof-off starts, and the goof-off is basically just a series of songs. The setup for each one keeps getting more and more impressive than the previous one.
Yeah.
And it starts small, but then it gets even bigger in both scope and magnitude, because at one point they break into reality. That was SpongeBob levels of
I know.
What the hell. It's like, take it, Boneless! Real life version of a rubber chicken jumping and bouncing. No, take it, Gummy! A clip of an alligator looking at nowhere. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
I was trying to figure out a way to segue into that to talk about it, but there is no way. It has to be that random. It's like all of a sudden real life rubber chicken, all of a sudden real life alligator. I'm like, what the hell?
You know what, James? I have to say this. Before I saw the episode, I had in my mind, it would be cool if the ponies do something with real life things. Like, I don't know, real life something. Maybe like the Family Guy skit where Peter Griffin was in the real world, something like that. But for ponies, it couldn't work. And when I saw this episode, oh my god, it worked.
It does work, because the episode has already established a very out there, very weird, very kind of random atmosphere. And within the insanity that is this episode, those clips completely work.
And as you said before, it has that SpongeBob feel. And you know what? I can't blame him, because SpongeBob earlier seasons was awesome.
Yeah, SpongeBob is a lot of fun. People unfairly hate it when it actually is smarter than you think.
Yeah, I mean, the earlier seasons, the new ones, debatable.
And also, as the song moves forward, they change not only formats, but also tempo and tune. And the last part of the song, it actually is in Spanish.
I had to... Oh, wait, James, you're overlooking Cheese Sandwich Smile song.
Oh, yeah, of course. He actually goes right ahead and quotes "smile, smile, smile" for like a single paragraph. And Pinkie is like, "Hey, that's my son." What? I don't know what you're talking about. You art thief.
Oh, boy.
You sneaky McSnickerston. But no, that was fun. It was cool. Especially for seeing Pinkie so appalled that, oh my god, this guy stole my son. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to blast the party cannon right on his face, and I don't care if his eyes get filled with confetti.
And moving on after that, yeah, the Spanish part. Like, when I first heard it, I got no idea. And when the lyrics came, and I like, oh, dale, 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 what is this? Had to copy the whole thing, put it in Google Translate, and translate it. And it's Spanish. In my mind, I was so excited because, oh my god, James is going to freak out.
I literally had no idea it was in Spanish until my friend Pedro told me it was. I didn't recognize it. I actually had to go to the transcript for the episode to realize that it actually is Spanish. That song is not from Spain. It's from Mexico. And it's a song that you're going to sing when you're about to hit a giant piñata.
Okay.
And it literally translates to hit it, don't lose your aim, because if you lose it, you lose your way. That's it. That's the correct translation.
Okay.
So, yeah, it makes sense because Pinkie Pie is dancing around on a giant cake-shaped piñata that, of course, falls on top of Rainbow Dash. And that's when Pinkie Pie realizes that Rainbow Dash is not having a good time. She's not laughing. And that's when her eyes glow with the colors of the rainbow, she calls off the goof-off and forfeits in advantage to Cheese Sandwich, who wins. And that's the funny part. Up until that moment, I had no feelings towards Cheese Sandwich. But in that one scene, he actually is more surprised for winning than Pinkie Pie and everyone else is for her to lose. He's like, wait, what? I won?
Yeah,
and that's when you realize, wait a minute, there is something else going on with this guy.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing. Yeah, but seriously, the reason why Pinkie Pie realized and the whole rainbow thing was there because she broke a Pinkie promise. Because in the beginning of the show, where I mentioned Pinkie Pie was making the whole Pinkie promise to make this the best birthday ever and you'll have fun, Rainbow Dash is not having fun. And she broke the Pinkie promise.
And because of that, she leaves Ponyville. And that's where we take it off. Actually, it's kind of, it's very dramatic to think about it because she's leaving and she's using her welcoming wagon to leave. Yeah, she's using the welcoming wagon that she used in A Friend Indeed.
Symbolism.
And she's using it to go away. And as she is preparing to go away, all the main six and Spike come to her meeting and try to convince her not to leave. And they, to be honest, they are not doing a very good job. But then, out of nowhere, comes Cheese Sandwich, who seems to be really, really hurt and apologizes that he didn't want to make Pinkie Pie suffer like this. He just wanted to show Pinkie how much of a good party guy he is. And the reason why is he then reveals his whole backstory. Because at the beginning of the episode, he said that even when he was a little cold, he was a huge party guy, that he just wanted to party, he wanted to have fun. But in reality, he was a very shy boy. He wasn't very sociable and nobody knew who he was. Until one day, after he left what seems to be Manhattan, he runs into a party on a town he didn't know. And they were having so much fun at the party. They were enjoying themselves so much that he realized that he wanted to be a party pony as well. So he decided to make every pony party in all of Equestria. He went everywhere and everybody knew his name, and all that motivation, all of that, came from the fact that the one who was organizing the party was Pinkie Pie in Ponyville. So Pinkie Pie motivated and inspired Cheese Sandwich to be how he is right now.
Yep. And before you move on, James, during the whole flashback scene, we get to see the ponies of Ponyville when they were cute little fillies. Like, we get to see Lyra and Bon Bon.
That whole thing is diabetes central.
I know, and
Don't watch it unless you have your insulin next to you because you're going to die. Okay?
Yeah, and fun. Well, I won't say fun fact, but in the scene that comes after that, we get to see Cheerly, who is still young, offering cheese sandwich, and Berry Punch, who is an adult.
Yeah, you also see Cloud Chaser and Cloud Kicker. You can see Bonbon and Lyra dancing together, and Bonbon has these huge twist glasses on, which is hilarious. And you can see, of course, Derpy. Derpy's just standing there being Derpy.
And her mane is not the way that you would think how Derpy's mane would be. Like, it's all squiggly, it's all poofy, and when she becomes an adult, it's all spiky, like any Final Fantasy character. But moving on after that, we get to see Cheese Sandwich cheering Pinkie Pie up and inspiring her to be the best that she can be.
Yeah, basically making amends after what basically can be considered a boycott to her whole celebration. But instead of being one against each other, they decide to combine forces. And together they make a birthday anniversary party that is downright epic. And this is another part of the episode that we didn't bring it up, but the episode looks gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
this is one of the most beautiful looking episodes of the entire show.
That's true. That's true.
The party at the end in particular is really, really beautiful. It's full of detail. It's full of little small nods, like you can see. It looks like genuinely so much fun. There is a roller coaster. There is a party tank, not just a party cannon, it's a party tank. There are hippo rides, there is a giant rainbow dash balloon, a fruit punch swimming pool with donut floaters and all that. Oh my god, I want to have a birthday party like that. That is amazing. But that's the fun part of it, is that they promised you something. They promised you that this is going to have an ending with a very epic party. And combining the talents of Pinkie Pie and Cheese Sandwich, and indeed is a really epic party. It's unbelievably epic. It's a good payoff. Like it delivers on what it promises.
Indeed. And well, I need to point out a few things. Going back to the flashback with Cheese Sandwich, they show a map of Equestria. And that map of Equestria is the same map that was used as the promotional poster you can buy in any shop. But what's different is the map shows the Crystal Empire, which is so cool.
Yeah, I have seen some people complaining that the map doesn't look accurate, or that there are some errors in the map, or that... No, it's the same. I don't know where you are seeing the inaccuracy, but it is the exact same map.
It is the exact same map, except the wordings. And I can understand why they removed the wordings. But no, this map is a 1-to-1 copy, and except for the Crystal Empire, which was added. And that little nod was so cool. And moving back down to the Make-A-Wish song, I like the dancing scene with Rarity, Twilight, and Applejack. It was so cool, like them dancing. Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know what, people are going to hate me for saying this, but it had a lot of a Spice Girls vibe from watching them dance. It was like, they were kind of like dancing the Macarena mixed with something else, and with Pulp Fiction or something, and it felt similar to something the Spice Girls used to dance in the 90s. It looked like a lot of fun. It looked like you could get down there and dance with them as well.
Yeah, but it's all fun and games, so
it is all fun and games. It definitely is all fun and games. It's wonderful.
And then Rainbow Dash thanks Cheese Sandwich for the awesome party, and Cheese Sandwich says, "It's no problem, it's my job." And after that, it shows Pinkie Pie writing in the diary, or the journal, if they want to call it. And here's the fun part. We don't get to hear what Pinkie Pie says about the whole experience. If you want to know, go buy the Journal of the Two Sisters that is coming out soon.
You are such a whore for Hasbro products. You are plugging it. Actually, no. You know what? No. Okay. All fun aside, all joking aside, that is a very smart way to promote your products. Okay. There is a TV show that I'm pretty sure a lot of girls are going to go crazy when I say this, but there is a TV show called Castle, starring Nathan Fillion and Stana Katic. That it's a lot of fun. And it's good, and it's great, and it's enjoyable, and it's a great show. It's about a writer who works alone, a policewoman, okay? Who they both go together to solve cases, okay? And he writes books based on these cases. And the books that he writes, the books are there on the TV show, and you can buy them on your world. And they are the books written by the same character, and they are the books about these these stories. And of course, you don't read the books on the show, but you can read them on your own in real life.
Oh God, that's so cool.
This is very similar to what they're doing in this episode, where Pinkie Pie is not telling us the moral of the episode or anything. She is just writing it on the diary. What is the moral going to be? What is it to be about? You have to buy the book and read it on your own to find out, which is a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And after that, Cheese Sandwich offers a gift to Pinkie Pie, which is boneless chicken. And Pinkie Pie says, "Isn't boneless one of a kind?" And funny thing is, Cheese Sandwich puts boneless 2. And it has the number 2.
Yeah, he has number 2 on it. It's like, oh my God, so there is nothing special about this poor guy. He's just boneless.
Yeah. And like any good cowboy hero, Cheese Sandwich walks off to the sunset. And like any good cowboy movie, the actress for the show says, "I never did get the chance to know that pony's name." And everyone scolds Pinkie and says, "It's Cheese Sandwich." Pinkie, you're so random.
Pinkie is absolutely random and wonderful at the same time.
Indeed. So that's the episode.
Yeah, that's the end of the episode. Wow, we took forever to talk about this one, didn't we?
There's so much fun. There's so much good in this movie, in this episode. So, James, what do you think, like, overall review?
What do you mean? What do you think? I love this episode, man.
Yeah.
Didn't you catch the part at the beginning where I said this is one of those Universal episodes that you are not allowed to hate? Okay? Look at it from this way, okay? There are many things that many people love just for one aspect, just for one thing. Mm-hmm. It makes those things absolutely magnificent for those people, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is an example of an episode that it doesn't matter if you hate everything on it, there is going to be something that is going to make you go crazy for it. And even if it doesn't, there are so many good things. It's like it has a good message, it has a good moral, it has an upbeat, positive tone throughout the entire thing, it's happy, it's upbeat, it's just cheerful. It's all the adjectives that have to do with the word happy. I was thinking the other day on making a list of the happiest things on the planet, and like the top 3 will be, number 3 will be the Smile Song, number 2 will be Adventure Time, and number 1 will be Disneyland.
Okay.
Because nothing can top Disneyland. I mean, come on, it's Disneyland, okay? It's the happiest place on the world. But right now I think I will have to put at number 3, I'll have to put this episode. This episode is really happy. If you're feeling down or if you're feeling depressed or anything, just watch this episode and let the positivity take you. And I think this is why the response of this episode has been so generalized, positive, throughout the entire fandom. And in my opinion, it couldn't have been a much better welcome back for Amy Keating Rogers. It's like this episode feels like, you know what, it feels like she has never left. That's really touching because it's like, oh my God, look at that. There she is. Welcome back, Amy. It's like seeing one of your relatives that went away for like a couple of years and then they come back and it's like they never changed. They are still the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this episode, I hate to say this, but this is my favorite episode.
You say that every week.
I know. But you know what? It's true. It's true. I knew it before it played, and I'm going to say it. This is my favorite episode. It's just so much fun. It's just so much positive. But you know what? With anything positive, there's a negative. And James, you said that you had a gripe with it. So what was it?
My gripe is that the rhythm is a bit clunky at times. I think it's a problem that all of season 4 is having. They are being very experimental with this season. And this is something I'm going to go through on the next episode review, but they are being very experimental. And one of the things they are tampering way too much is the rhythm of the episodes, the way each one of the acts is structured. Like, usually when you have an episode of this sort, you have the intro, then the theme song, then commercial break, then Act 1, commercial break, Act 2, commercial break, Act 3, conclusion. This episode had 3 fades to black to signify each one of the fades to black is a commercial break, okay? This episode had 4. They structured the episode on regards of the songs. Like, each time a song ended, regardless of how the story was moving, it was a cut. So of course the flow of the story wasn't all that even. But like I said, that is the tiniest, most minute nitpick ever. Okay, and I will explain to you my point with a comparison. I will let you explain your gripe with the episode. But are you guys familiar with internet reviewer called Jatsi Kroshaw?
No, I'm not.
He makes a series of videos called Zero Punctuation, where he reviews video games. And back in 2008, he made the review of a video game called Painkiller. Painkiller is a shooter game. It's basically, you go around with a gun shooting everything that moves. It's standard first-person shooter stuff. But he loved that video game because in that game there is a gun that shoots ninja stars and lightning.
All right.
Yeah. It's a gun that shoots shurikens and lasers.
All right.
So he had gripes with the video game and everything, but he said, I don't care because this game has a gun that shoots shurikens and lightning.
That is an awesome gun.
So in that case, that is the case of you have something that might be flawed, but there is one aspect on it that makes it absolutely worth it. So take it. It's an awesome thing. Why? Because it has this. So you can have all the flaws that you want. You can nitpick all you want about this episode. It doesn't matter because in the end, it's an episode it's an episode of My Little Pony, and Weird Al Yankovic is voicing a character, and he's singing, and he's dancing, and he's perfect, and he's great. So it doesn't matter if you don't like it. You like this episode. Why? Because Weird Al Yankovic is in it.
That is true. And I have to agree with you from that standpoint because the whole show is so good that the minor nitpicks that we have overshadows it. And as for my minor nitpick, it was during the scene where Twilight was visiting Pinkie Pie and asking her, you're not going to help Cheese Sandwich? If Twilight were to explore more or to ask, oh, what's wrong, Pinkie? You can tell me. The problem could be resolved or diverted. But you know what? It's a minor nitpick and they want to create drama, so whatever. Well, that's my minor nitpick, and the whole show is good, and it doesn't really matter. So, James, would you recommend this episode to someone?
Yes, this episode should be watched by everybody, even those who are not fans of this show. They should watch it. It has very tiny connections with the overarching plot of the season. You know, the whole elements, keys, and all that. You don't really need to watch previous episodes to understand what's going on because they give you a lot of story and they give you a lot of backstory on both Pinkie Pie and Cheese Sandwich. The characters are written in such a way that you understand that Pinkie Pie loves books, Rainbow Dash loves awesome things, Applejack is an expert on apples, Fluttershy is kind, and Rarity is centered in fashion. You can get enough of everything just from this one episode. Actually, you know what? This is a perfect episode to introduce people to the show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but this is a perfect introduction episode to someone who loves Weird Al. Because if you have a friend who loves Weird Al and says, hey, friend, I have this one My Little Pony episode, he's going to say, no, it has Weird Al. And he's like, you got me intrigued. Let's watch it. And he is going to love it for the songs.
You know, if people watched that terrible Leslie Nielsen comedy Spy Hard just because Weird Al Yankovic did the theme song, I think they are more than obligated to watch this My Little Pony episode because Weird Al Yankovic is in it. It's like Weird Al Yankovic has been in many terrible things all over the years. This is not one of them. But if you think it is, give it a watch and you're going to be surprised because it's not.
Yeah, but if you don't like it, then it's your prerogative. We're not forcing you to like it.
But that's the thing. You are not going to hate it.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going. It doesn't matter how much you try. It doesn't matter how much you bitch and moan and complain. You are not going to hate the episode because the episode. You know what's the thing? This is the thing. You may go into it wanting to hate it, but the episode is going to love you so much.
Yeah.
No, really, this is one of those cases where the episode loves its audience and it wants to give the audience the best it can. It's amazing, people.
True. And like I said before, it reflects on Amy Keating Rogers' personality. Amy Keating Rogers is a wonderful person, and it reflects onto the episode. And yeah, I know this because I talked to her, and she was amazing. And whatever we asked, she always answered them with a smile. Even though I can't see her face, I can still feel it. It's so fun.
Yeah, exactly. You can actually feel her smile when she's talking. It's unbelievable.
I know.
Oh my god, this is such a happy episode. I'm gonna cry. But yeah. Okay, let's wrap up because we're taking forever.
Oh yeah.
Pinky Pride, 10 out of 10. Great episode. Go watch it. I don't know what you're doing that you're not watching it.
Yep. And just if you don't like ponies, you have to like Weird Al. So go watch it because of Weird Al.
And if you have friends that like Weird Al Yankovic, take them into it and bring them to the herd because we need more people in here. We never have enough. One of us.
Yeah.
So, that was Pinky Pride. Now we're going to be reviewing another episode. And you guys might remember, but last week we didn't have an episode review because, well, this guy right here who's talking right now, yes, this jerk, he was infected by the flu and he couldn't even talk. Actually, he can barely talk right now. But we didn't have an episode out. So we're going to be doing 2 episode reviews this week. Of course, in separate videos because you guys don't need to sit through one review if you want to hear our opinions on the next. So join us in another episode review coming right after this one on another video, of course. The link is going to be either here on an annotation or down here on the video description, of course. So the next episode is going to be Simple Ways, written by Josh Haber. It's a Rarity Applejack new character episode. How was it? Did we like it? Did we hate it? I guess the only way you're going to find out is by clicking on this link. So go for it.
Indeed. So we'll see you next review.